You're listening to the Unbelievers podcast.
There were several groups. One of the principal ones was the reptilians from the Orion complex.
Without any exaggeration, it was like being on fire inside.
Rats were eating them inside.
This stuff was in my mouth. It felt like it was 500 pounds. It was unbelievably hot.
My first question would be, were you a member of the Church of Satan, a card-carrying member of the Church of Satan? I don't understand.
There's always an argument for everything. You know, just because somebody can fake something doesn't necessarily mean it's full war and we found a life form. And that's when I started shitting my pants.
So for the person who called, I am carrying an alien.
An alien baby, and we cover it right here, okay?
Something is happening. What is it? That's the question. So do UFOs exist? It depends on what you mean exist.
Labor Day, 1969. In the town of Sheffield, Massachusetts, a family named the Reeds experienced an unbelievable UFO event. An event complete with missing time and an alleged abduction. The family will go on to have more mysterious alien encounters, become the subject of many documentaries, and are now viewed as one of the most historic events in the annals of ufology. But what's really that historic about it? Does this tale live up to the hype? Do the documentaries utilize green screen technology and CGI? We'll find out tonight as we discuss Thomas Reed, the man at the center of the historic Reed family encounters, or abductions, or shit, or something, right here on the program, where you continue to learn to unlearn everything you know! Hello and welcome to the Unbelievers podcast. I'm your host, Rus Ryan, and tonight I am joined by my co-host in California, Drea Mora. Hello, Drea.
Why, hello. How are you?
I'm doing great. And on Long Island, host of the 4th of July barbecue, producer and soundboard engineer, Rob Okey.
We are ready to transmit. We are ready to transmit.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's
Featuring
up, Rob?
Eddie. Hey, Rob. How's it going, man?
How you doing?
Great. It's nice coming off of that fun 4th of July party. Whew. Just thank you, everyone who came on and helped us out with that. That was a really fun episode to do. So thank y'all very much.
Good weekend. It was amazing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you for not destroying my house and my backyard.
Yeah, I tried to stay in only 2 places the whole time. Minimize the damage.
And yes, and congratulations again to Team USA. But, man, we're back. Got to do the real show now. And we went from rods, but we're not going too far because tonight we're talking about reeds, a reed family. But rods and reeds close. I would ask who your favorite reed is. I don't think there are. I have one. I have Reed Richards. He's my favorite reed.
I really don't know of any kind of reeds. I used to play clarinet, so the clarinet reeds, I guess. That's a stretch.
There you go. What about you, double reed, Rob?
Reed. You know, Reed Richards is a great choice because there's not a lot of reeds out there to choose from.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of a good reed. Man.
Nah, he's the best, but
he is the best, I think. I'm pretty sure you stole the best one, the only one.
Coming in second, though, would be tonight's subject. Just because of elimination, we're talking tonight about the Reed family abduction, multi-generational drama. Let's go. Most inappropriately almost sexy for what we're going to talk about tonight. Not sexy at all tonight.
I didn't think it was very sexy. It kind of felt like a 70s police movie. I guess that is pretty sexy.
That's a good call. That's a good call. That was pretty. Yeah, that's exactly what it sounded like.
And I have no idea. I think this says something about Sheffield, which is what we're talking about tonight. But today, we're going to talk about what many consider a very historic case in the annals of UFO and alien abduction lore. This is the story of the Reed family. And when I say the Reed family, don't worry, no one's going to be here
throwing up and filling my pants.
Oh, that is who I first thought of. Like, I was like, oh, there's more of him. Cool.
That's a different Reed, and
that's
his
my
family.
Favorite. He's my favorite Reed. That's what I was thinking.
Not mine.
Dr. Jonathan Reed, going on record. Dr. Jonathan Reed is Rob's famous favorite Reed. I'm stroking out before we're even starting. Good Lord. But no, we're not talking about Jonathan Reed and Freddie. This is the story of the Reed family, and they have a long history of multi-generational alien contact. And before we even get into this, did you guys even know much about the Reed family at all?
I really did not. Like, I may have seen the name pop up recently, but no, I don't know shit about this.
Yeah, I'm totally unfamiliar with this case. I know nothing about the Reed family.
It's wild because of being such a historic case. You would think it would just be on the tip of everyone's tongue who is talking about either UFOs or aliens or anything like that. So I'm just gonna have to tell the story because that's just what we have to do sometimes. And we got to get oh my god! All right, now I'm there.
Yeah.
And here's the story of the Reed family. This history involves Marion Burroughs, the grandmother, Nancy Reed, the mother, and the two brothers, Thomas and Matthew. Nancy Reed built a life for her two young sons, and she did it all on her own. In 1960, she, Thomas, and Tom's father moved to Colorado from upstate New York. When her marriage went south, she and Tom, then just an infant, bounced from Colorado to Arizona to California, where she remarried. Realizing that her second husband was not a kind person, Nancy, then pregnant with Matt, left Matt's father and headed back coast to Massachusetts. Spooky. Nancy had Matt in 1963 and found herself in the unenviable position of being a single mother with two small boys, two failed marriages, and no money to speak of. She got work in a dentist's office and convinced a bank to give her an $8,500 mortgage on a run-down 4-bedroom house. She fixed it up, sold it for profit, and used the money to make a down payment on an 80-acre horse farm in the scenic rolling hills outside of Sheffield, Massachusetts. She bought a mom-and-pop restaurant in town and made her living running the business. And this is the family. These are the Reeds. In 1966, the same year the family moved to the farm, the brothers purportedly had their first extraterrestrial experience. For Tom, only 6 years old at the time, the images are still vivid. Their bedroom was on the second floor of a big old farmhouse, and one night, after they'd gone to bed, they had a strange feeling, he says. Scared, they wandered into the hall and saw two figures appear at the top of the stairs. Ghosts, the boys called them. The next thing Tom can recall, he and Matt were near a large exposed rock in an unfamiliar corner of the property. To their right, through a clearing, they saw a wishbone-shaped tree and out ahead of them, an enormous spaceship. It looked like a sleek gunmetal tortoise shell. Tom remembers being in a large room, at the far end of which was a wide curved screen. There were figures in the room, he says, humanoid, but smaller. He sat at a bronze-colored table and watched in awe as a series of beautiful, captivating images flashed before him. One of them left a deep impression in his mind. The picture was of a broad, placid body of water, a lake maybe. Green hills rolled off into the distance on a glorious sunlit day. A weeping willow tree grew next to the water, illuminated from behind by a brilliant golden light. The leaves shimmered as if the tree were radiating. He felt at peace. When Tom got home from school the following day, he jumped on his horse and, as though under a spell, rode a trail towards the corner of the farm he and his brother had visited the previous night. He'd never been to that part of the property before because his mother didn't allow the boys to go back there, saying it was too far away from the house. But when he arrived, sure enough, there was the rock and the clearing and the wishbone tree, exactly as he remembered them.
Wow, that's
so
descriptive.
Spooky. It's spooky and descriptive, very descriptive. The leaves are shimmering as if they're radiating. This guy is really, he's really pulling out the paintbrush for this story.
Yeah, it's really tripping.
Sounded like it was written by the illiterate unbeliever.
Both good writers. No, I think it sounds very yeah. I like how it almost sounds like when you're describing a dream. You know, like where you can see everything and you have details for every little thing. But that's really crazy that you end up finding the spot where all of that you saw in your head already and that it was real.
Yeah, it's weird if you're 6 years old and you're putting this all together. And I mean, what a great life though. They're just the 60s. They're jumping on horses and going down roads, and they're finding all this. Man, I wish I would have grown up with some of that. He had his own horse. What age was this? I think he was 6. This was in like 66. This was.
Damn, you have your own horse at age 6 and you can ride it that well. That's very impressive.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom's already coming off.
And also, just really. Yeah, and also really quick kudos to their mom. Like, what a baller that she managed to pull all that off, taking them all over the place, like Arizona, California, back to Massachusetts, and then she like flips a house and then gets a horse ranch. Like, yeah, she's making it happen.
Single mom in the 60s, you know, been through 2 kind of failed marriages, probably not even her fault, raising these boys, flipping houses. Like, I can imagine the time it takes to do something like that and the initiative to just get going. Yeah, and you just buy a horse farm. Like, all right, now I'm just going to raise my boys on a horse farm, and they're going to...
Badass.
But, you know, sadly, these things start happening, and it wasn't over then. It gets better. The second encounter came in 1967. Tom says he and his brother saw a bright light in their bedroom window. An odd stillness accompanied the light. The nighttime insects went quiet, and the air felt heavy. Tom was engulfed, and Matthew was now speaking to an empty bed. Matthew ran to his mother, only to find her in this unresponsive state from which he could not wake her. When she partially regained her senses, Nancy headed to the boy's bedroom, but before reaching the room, heard a cross between a loud screech and a door slamming. Matthew was no longer beside her. Now alone in the home with only the grandmother, Marion, who stayed at home while Nancy began to frantically search the farm on horseback, she's badass, where she eventually spotted them from the Appalachian Trail. Tom and Matthew were about 15 feet away from each other on a wide dirt path, eyes locked on one another, heavily shaken and in need of care. Tom recalled that was upside down and had the sensation he was tumbling. Like when you're caught in an ocean wave, he says, in an undertow. He was no longer in the bedroom, but in a question mark-shaped hallway, and then in some cavernous interior space. He called out for his brother and turned around, and Matt was there behind him. In another instance, Tom was being led through a door. To his right, he saw 2 figures take his brother into a separate passage. When the episode was over, Tom and Matt found themselves in the yard outside of the farmhouse, and their mother was looking for them. She scooped up Matt in her arms. "It's okay," she said. "They're gone." Okay, that was...
Wow. So she saw them. She knew that whatever it was that they were gone, so she had her eyes on them.
I guess so, and yeah, now the tales are, you know, staying about as descriptive, but it's showing that these brothers are having pretty extraordinary, I don't know, alien UFO contact in 1967? Mothman year. Yeah, Mothman year.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's true. But this is Massachusetts, right? And well, who knows? These things can happen all the time everywhere. Like, things were happening probably in the same year in India, probably with, like, the jinn or anything else. But, that is kind of remarkable that it was the same year as Mothman.
I've seen something recently where somebody's going to do a special where they kind of took all the, kind of remarkable things. 1967 is just one of those years it's turned out where they're seeing a lot of just weird things happen there. I mean, Mothman being one of the main ones. 66, 67. Yeah, man, when things were getting weird out there, you know.
Real cool.
Yeah. I'm throwing up 2 peace signs right now.
That's groovy, man. That's pretty groovy.
Yeah, that's when Jim Sullivan was living it up, huh, Rob?
Oh, yeah. Jim Sullivan, you talking about...
Did it come? Yeah, Jim Sullivan. That's the one. But it gets better because there's another instance that happened, and this happened in 1969. Tom was 9 years old. Matt was 6. The 2 were in the family station wagon heading home towards the horse farm, following a horse show at about 8 p.m. when they observed what Marion referred to as a bright floating strip mall above the left side of the station wagon. Their mother was driving, their grandmother sat in the passenger seat. As Tom tells it, the wagon pulled away from the store. We had bought candy. In the back seat, Tom slipped a penny fireball in